Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out today. On behalf of the SRA, I think you know who I am, Al Brunet. One of the things that we wanted to get across to people is how much we've appreciated all of the volunteer help. And you realize, of course, that the SRA board itself is also volunteer. This process seems to have taken a long time. We were quite elated with the CVRD victory yesterday. When we started this process back in 2012, which seems like a long time ago, we never thought that we would have to go quite this long. You'll have to wait. It all started way back, if you remember, back at Kerry Park when the Ministry of Mines and Active Earth and SIA and I forget who else was there, came over to do a tap dance on the community and tell us how wonderful and how safe this whole facility was going to be, and how if there was ever any pollution, I forget, it was some insane thing like 100,000 years before it would ever reach the aquifer.
Solid impermeable rock.
Yeah, and then we discovered that, I don't know, it came down to a matter of hours after everything was said and done. But the whole point was that we decided at that point, we being the SRA, that we had to investigate this further. And so then we started in, and then we fundraised for $15,000, which we thought would be the end of it. And of course, then it moved up to about 25, and then 50, and then 100,000, and now we're at 750 plus, and we're still going. And that's how serious the problem has become. Now, one of the things I'd like to recognize right now is that the members of the board have worked hard, but we have one guy who's not here today, who has been putting hundreds of hours in on your behalf, and that's Calvin Cook, the SRA president. Now, Calvin has spent all kinds of time in lawyers' offices. He spent all kinds of time going out and speaking to people. He spent all kinds of time bending, where's my phone? Bending people's ear to try and get some extra money, which he has done. And I think that you don't want to forget Calvin. And of course, the other big name in this whole thing has been Sonia Furstenau. Now, Sonia, I don't know if she actually realized how hard she would work for absolutely every vote she got in this last year. But she did it, and she's still here, and she's still talking to people whenever they turn an ear towards her. So lots and lots of help from Sonia. Now, and then some people go unrecognized. And then some people get tired. We had a couple of ladies on the board that got tired and said, oh, this is just too much, got to get off of the board. So they did, and then they turn around and double down and have been doing 3 times as much work than they were on the board. One of them, of course, being Anne-Marie Thornton, who doesn't stop, and Netta Douglas, who has been pouring the coals to it. And I know I'm going to miss some people, and I don't mean to, but those two particularly have really been doing a lot of work. So I'd like you to recognize that fact. Now, as far as World Water Day is concerned, we were lucky yesterday in that we got a decision that went our way, and that's really nice. I don't think that we want to get complacent, because with this much money involved, somebody is going to find a way of throwing a monkey wrench in our gearbox. So we have to be careful, we have to pay attention, we have to continue to raise money, and of course we do have the rest of that $750,000 lawyer's fee to pay. So we still have to raise money. But I think in terms of the 4 years that we've been working on this water problem, and the fact that we got a victory so soon, which doesn't feel like it's so soon, then you look at the hundreds of sites right across BC, the thousands across Canada that have been on boil water advisories for years. And you think to yourself, what is happening? Why is it that we can stand in front of the office of the Ministry of the Environment in BC, or for all that matters probably anywhere in Canada, and get totally ignored when it comes to matters of the environment? It doesn't make any sense. As a matter of fact, it probably makes most people incensed when they stop and think about it. So on this day where we've scored a victory, don't forget all those people on boil water advisories who have not scored a victory in years. And whether it's on our side of the border or whether it's places like Flint, Michigan, who have been totally victimized by their politicians, it could happen to us. So we go on and we'll continue to fight this fight. Hopefully, I said to Sonia before we came here, I said, gee, maybe, just maybe, Mary will be at the office, and while we're here, she'll come out and tap us on the shoulder and say, I've decided to pull this permit. And Sonia, being the kind and loving person she is, looked at me and laughed. Speaking of Sonia, I think she might have a couple of words to say to you also.
All right. It's funny because I was always, when we'd get together for these kind of gatherings and protests, I'd say, oh, I really look forward to when we get together for other reasons, Shawnigan. And here we are in kind of a combo celebration protest, so it's nice to add this. I will give this to the Ministry of Environment and to our Minister, that at least it's consistent, that there is closed doors and closed windows and nobody wants to hear from us. That's pretty standard, but I think Al was on the right track. We have come to become, in Shawnigan, our understanding of the importance of water, I think, has grown enormously in the last couple of years, and particularly in the last year. And that idea that water unites all of us and connects all of us. And I think that as we move forward from this place of our first victory, of many victories to come in this, we do have a responsibility to look outside of our own community now, and to look to other communities and to find ways to help all communities. To find ways to help all communities in BC to achieve the dream that we have, which is to have protected watersheds and protected drinking water. And so in this moment of our celebration, let's also cast our mind on World Water Day to the communities out there that are in the same struggle that we're in to protect their water, and let's find ways to extend ourselves to them and be helpful. So, onwards, Shawnigan.